Have you only ever thought about what you should be saying, how you're going to say it, what questions you're going to ask in an interview, but you've never really thought about things you should never do? I'm going to share with you the top 8 things that you must not do in an interview. So stay tuned. So, as a recruiter, I interviewed thousands of people, either in phone interviews or HR interviews, hiring manager interviews, executive interviews, like all the interviews. And as a career coach, I've coached hundreds of people through the interview process. So I know a thing or two what makes somebody an interviewer be like, I don't think so. So I'm going to share with you the 8 most common things that I heard or experienced myself so that you can never ever do them yourself. Okay, first one is don't go in underprepared. This should be like easy, but trust me. And if you're finding this, probably this won't be you. However, I've interviewed enough people to know that too many people are laissez-faire about the whole thing and they just show up and wing it. And believe you me, you're just wasting everybody's time, including your own, because it comes across and the hiring manager, the recruiter, whoever's interviewing you is like, this person just doesn't care. They're not interested. But the worst thing is they just think that you're a phone it in type person, that if they assign you something, you're just going to do the bare minimum to get it done. No one wants to hire that. So if you don't have time to prepare for it, either postpone it or politely pull yourself out. Now, the counteract of this is number 2, don't go in over prepared. This is our tendency, is to prepare almost too much. Like we get an interview and we want the job so bad and we like stop all the things. All of our focus is on the interview. We're just going to practice and practice and practice. Now, believe you me, I've been there. I've done that and I've crashed and burned. And then I have interviewed people who've been there and done that and crashed and burned. That's what happens when you over prepare for an interview. You go in, you either mess something up or something doesn't go as planned, and you like deer in headlights freeze. You're like, your brain is on fire a little bit. You just don't know. You either are rambling off a storm or you like just have that freeze, the sweat, like the nerves, everything just gets in the way. And it is awkward for everybody involved. Some interviewers will give you a chance, most will not, because they will think that under pressure, that this is what you will look like. This will be you succumbing to the pressure. So the moral of the story for both of these things is be like Goldilocks. There, but not too little, not too much, but just enough. And a big secret of this is preparing in advance. Even if you don't have any interviews on the horizon and you're interviewing or you're applying for jobs, start practicing your interview stuff now so that you're not in that over prep mode, that like cramming session mode before it and then crashing, but also so that you're prepared enough that you don't look like you're half assessing it. Okay. Okay. Number 3 is don't give too much information about why you left a job. This happened all the time. And I know this especially happens when someone was laid off. And it's because it hurts when we're laid off. 100%. Like I've been laid off. It doesn't feel good. But when you are overcompensating and giving like all the details about how your manager still likes you and be a reference for you, and it really wasn't you, and you were doing such a good job, and your performance reviews, I can show you my performance reviews if you want, like saying all that stuff. As a recruiter, it's like red flag, red flag, red flag. It's like, why is this person overcompensating? Like, what really happened here? And the same thing happens if you do number 4, where you're giving too little information about why you left a job. This is where you get kind of cagey and evasive about this whole situation. And sometimes this happens purely because you don't know in your own head how to talk about it and how you would want to talk about it. Or you are still hurting or angry, and so you're afraid that you'll say something negative about the company. But what we're hearing as interviewers is more red flags. It's like, did this person get fired? No, was there a harassment issue? Did they do any fraud? Like, we get suspicious of you being evasive of it. And again, for both of these, we're probably not going to keep going unless we love you, unless you are hitting everything else out of the park, which puts so much pressure on the rest of the interview. So the moral of the story for both of these things is short and sweet. If you were laid off, that's all you need to say. There's a reorg, and unfortunately my position was impacted and I got laid off. Sweet, short, to the point, gives enough information. Number 5 is don't act desperate. Don't be like, you need to hire me. I need this job. I need. And you're doing this because you've put a lot of pressure on this one interview, either because you've been through so many and you're getting jaded, or bills are starting to pile up and you're getting afraid of them, or you just really want this job, but you're acting like desperate. And as an interviewer, we're not hearing enough about how you're going to benefit us. What we tend to be hearing is how we are going to benefit you, which doesn't make us want to give you an offer. Now, on the flip side of this coin is never play hard to get. I've interviewed these people. They are the worst, where they're like doing you a favor for coming in and interviewing. Like, and again, it's the exact same problem. That acting desperate means it's all about them. The playing hard to get makes it seem all about them, where they're like, I want to know how you're going to benefit me. And yes, this is a two-way street of an interview. Yes, you should be asking questions that give you the information to make the decision on whether or not this is a job for you. However, you do need to talk about how you're going to add value. You're even if you're on the fence, you are risking losing the offer by playing hard to get. So the moral of the story is be excited about the opportunity. But most importantly, be excited about what you bring to the opportunity, not what the opportunity brings to you. Number 7, never act too uptight. Okay, this is like when you're really nervous. And so you're like super tense and anxious. And it's like you're very monotonous, no personality. And there are some people who are monotonous and who are timid. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your nerves have resulted in you just being like this very tense person who you can't build chemistry with because they're so focused on like, you know what I'm talking about. Now, what this does is it really does prevent any chemistry from building, because the interviewer, especially when we're talking about hiring managers or peer groups or at the executive or business units that you would be supporting, they're looking for someone they want to work with. And if they can't build chemistry with you, then they're not going to want to work with you. Now, the flip side to this is number 8, never be too casual. Like, shockingly, I have interviewed these people where they walk in like it's their grandmother's basement. I don't even know if that's a saying. Maybe I just made that up. But like where they walk in and they're like sitting down and they're almost too relaxed, and they're swearing and they're saying things that they shouldn't be saying. And they are just being way too casual. Because the thing is, no matter how laid back an environment is, it is still a professional working environment. And it's still expected that you be yourself and show personality, but not in a way that you would be with your friends right off the bat. Like, think about it. They're thinking if you are in an executive meeting or a meeting with a client or a meeting with stakeholders or even just with the team, and they're picturing you sitting like that, talking like that, and they're more than likely cringing. And so you will not get the offer. So the moral of the story here is be relaxed, but professional. So those are my 8 things to never do in an interview. Now, in the Career Love Academy, we do a lot of interview work because it is such a key piece to a successful job search. There are 4 training modules. There is an ebook. There are workbooks that go alongside it that we coach on it quite often. There's extra trainings on interviews in the academy. So if you want to master the interview at every stage so that you can find a job in 8 to 12 weeks and make that job one you're really excited about and that your bank account is also really excited about, then I suggest you join us. $100 a month, Canadian, including taxes. It's less than the cost of your daily Starbucks. You can join us by clicking the link below. I've also written an article on this very topic with a couple of more things that I think you would really enjoy and that would help reframe the way you think about the things you shouldn't be doing in an interview. You can find that link below as well. And until next week, which is the first week of December, I'll see you. Take care. Happy job searching.